Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making spicy shrimp and lobster fried rice. To start this dish, we're going to make a stir-fry sauce. So to a measuring cup, we're going to measure out 1/4 cup of regular soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of sambal or chili garlic paste, a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, and 1/2 teaspoon of each of Chinese 5-spice, ground ginger, and ground garlic. Now I am using 6 whole arbol chilies here, just breaking them up into small pieces. If you can't handle that much heat, just use 2 or 3. Then we're going to give this a little whisk until that sugar dissolves. Now over on the stove, I have a pot of simmering water. We're going to add in 1 pound of cleaned shrimp, and we're only going to let this poach for 30 seconds. Then we're going to pull this out and put this into ice water to let that cool completely and stop the cooking process. Next goes in 2 4-ounce lobster tails. We're going to let that poach for 2 minutes. We don't want to cook this through because we're recooking this, and we don't want it to overcook. Now, we also need 2 tablespoons of ginger, just minced up, so I've just chopped this into planks and then to strips. If you don't like a lot of ginger, just cut this down to 2 teaspoons, but I like the additional heat this ginger brings, so I'm going to go ahead and use in the whole 2 tablespoons. Once that's minced up, we can put this into a small bowl. Next up, we need to mince up 4 cloves of garlic. So I'm just going to pull out the 4 biggest ones here. And we're just going to give these a nice little smash with the flat of our knife. And then we're going to give this a little choppity chop. And this can go into the same bowl as the ginger because it's going to go into our pot at the same time. So just giving these a little mince and putting them in the bowl. Now we also need 4 scallions, but we're going to separate the whites from the greens because they're going to cook at separate times. So just give these a nice little choppy chop as well. Put the white parts in with the garlic and the ginger, and put the greens in a separate bowl, but reserve a little for garnish. So just putting these into a bowl. And we also need some leafy greens. So I'm using Chinese broccoli, and you can see these gorgeous thick stems, but I'm only using the leaves for this. So we're going to roll this up and give this a rough chop. Don't throw away those stems though. You can use them in stock, or you can saute them up later, chop them into chunks with a little sesame and garlic. It'll be delicious. And you can see that little baby broccoli there. Now the shrimp we're going to leave whole, but the lobster we are going to chop up. Because this is such an expensive ingredient, we want everyone to get a little bite of it in their fried rice. So just cutting this down the middle with some kitchen shears and pulling this lobster meat out. And then we're just going to chop this into little chunks so you see it's not cooked all the way through because we don't want this to get rubbery when we add it back to the pot. And that can go in with the shrimp. We also need 2 eggs, so just cracking these open. And since this is a spicy fried rice, we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of sriracha. If you don't want it super spicy, leave this step out, or just add in 1/2 teaspoon. So we're going to whisk that up until it's somewhat incorporated. It doesn't have to be super incorporated. And this wouldn't be fried rice without rice, so we're going to need 2 cups of day-old white rice. Now we're on the stove over high heat. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil to a wok or a saute pan. Then we're going to add in our ginger, garlic, and scallion whites, and we're going to stir fry this for only 30 seconds, just until it becomes fragrant. We don't want that garlic to burn. Now we're going to push this aside, and at this point we're going to add in our eggs. Now I know some recipes call for adding in after you add the rice, but I like the nice big chunks of egg in this, so we're going to just cook this until it's cooked through and light and fluffy. And after we have achieved fluffiness, we're going to go ahead and add in our 2 cups of cooked rice. I always make extra rice when I'm making rice so I can do fried rice later. So we're going to start to break this up and add in a 1/2 tablespoon of vegetable oil just to help break this up a little bit. We're going to let this stir fry for an additional minute and a half just to heat the rice up a little bit. And then we are going to add in our leafy greens. So our Chinese broccoli, our stir-fry sauce, and also our scallion greens. Now this looks like a lot of Chinese broccoli, but this is going to wilt down considerably. So we're going to stir fry this until those greens wilt down nicely, as you can see here. And then we're going to add in our lobster and our shrimp. Now this is going to go fast by this point because this should only take a minute or 2 to cook through. Because again, we don't want to overcook our seafood. So just checking on a shrimp, and this is looking great. So now we can plate, and of course I'm using my favorite bowl, and we're going to garnish with a little scallion cream. Now to serve myself, I'm going to place some into a small bowl here. And this is looking delicious. Now let's go ahead and give this a taste. It is really spicy, which I thoroughly enjoy. It's making me sweat. The shrimp is cooked through perfectly. It's not overcooked. You get little hints of lobster. The greens add this freshness and vegetal goodness to the stir-fry dish. The rice is perfect. The stir-fry sauce is spicy and so aromatic with the ginger, the garlic, the scallions, and you do get that nice hit of heat. But this is salty, spicy, and absolutely delicious and satisfying and really fast to make. But there it is, spicy shrimp and lobster fried rice. I really do hope you all try to make this in your home. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you loved it, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell because I put out new videos every Thursday. Thank you again, and until next time, happy cooking.